Good morning, sir.
Are you able to see the PPT?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Before we continue in the today's class, let us recap quickly on what we did, and I will appreciate if some of you can answer my question so that I can conclude that you understood something. So we have discussed about a class model in the previous class, and we started with the how a class is represented and how objects are created. So can you quickly tell me, any of you, what is an association and link? What did you understand from that perspective? What do you mean by an association? What do you mean by a link? May I get some answers from anyone? What is an association and what is a link?
Sir, association is a relationship between classes and object.
Okay. Classes and objects?
Yes, sir.
So association is between classes and classes. Class like
Yeah.
class A and class B.
So,
And link
perfect.
is between object and object.
Perfect. So any relationship that you are going to describe between two or more classes is nothing but an association. So association is related to the classes. So objects will not come here. So the same relationship, when you use or describe among the objects or between the objects, we refer that as a link. So link is for the objects, association is for the classes, right? Any confusion here? Because this is how probably you will be having answers. You may have to answer in whenever there is a question on such things, because you can't have a what you call confusion. If you write link for a class and association for object, you lose 2 marks. As simple as that. So no room for any confusion. So how do you differentiate between a method and an operation in the class model? Method versus operation.
So method is identified for classes
Okay,
and operation is identified by for object.
perfect. No confusion, right? Any confusion to others? So methods are for the classes, operations are with respect to the objects. Perfect. Yeah. How about value and attribute? How do you differentiate a value and an attribute? What do you mean by a value, or what do you mean by an attribute with respect to class model?
Sir, an attribute defines the format.
Okay. With respect to what?
Defines
Class
the
or object?
property as a object. Sir.
Which one? Attribute.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Attribute.
Attribute is for object?
Yes, sir.
No. Attributes are for the classes. Attribute is generic, right? So class is also generic. So attributes are classes, whereas values, for example, if I say name or a person, each person has a name when I create an object. So name becomes a value, right? So value is related to the objects, whereas attributes are related to the classes.
Okay, sir. Bye.
Yeah. So that's what we have identified: links, associations, and any idea about multiplicity. Can anyone, any of you recall quickly what do you mean by multiplicity? Or how do you differentiate cardinality with multiplicity? Are the same? Or you want to have differentiation between multiplicity and cardinality? We have seen a couple of examples in the previous class, how multiplicity is represented, how it makes sense or a value for a person to understand the project or the diagram of a class model. So how do you differentiate multiplicity from cardinality? So what is the advantage of multiplicity? Any outputs? So none of you?
So cardinality is the count of objects.
Pardon? Cardinality?
Is the count of objects, sir.
Count of objects, okay. Multiplicity?
Participation of objects. Number of participation of objects.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, if you want to give a differentiation rather, multiplicity is a constraint. When we say an employee works for a company, when I say 1 is to star or star is to 1, so star is a constraint, meaning that there is a limit. What is the limit? Upper limit, constraint, a range. So if that is the case, multiplicity always gives us a range, which is a constraint on the attribute. Whereas cardinality is just a count, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there is a difference between a cardinality and a multiplicity. Cardinality represents actual count, where multiplicity provides a range or a constraint with respect to the value of the attribute is concerned. Okay. So this is what we have seen. And in multiplicity, we have one-to-one multiplicity, one to many, many to many, many to one. Like any typical relationship, we have all those possible in the multiplicity. But what is important here is the name of the association what we have. That is, each association has to provide a name that gives a clarity how multiplicity can be used and how to read them. So if you look at this example, what is being shown now, a country has a capital. A country has a capital. So one country has one capital. From capital perspective, one capital is related to one country. If I take a situation called Jammu Kashmir, let us say. So how do you write this particular diagram? If it is India, we have a Delhi. But if it is Jammu Kashmir, there is a different capital. During some time, Jammu will be capital. During some time, Kashmir is going to be capital, let us say, for territory called Jammu, which is a state today. So how we are going to represent this? So can any of you tell me what is the class diagram for Jammu and Kashmir as far as the capital is concerned? I have given here an example of a country where unique, one country has one capital and that capital is pertaining to one country only. If that is the case, I can have one-to-one as shown in the diagram or PPT now. But my question now is, how do you write a capital state capital relationship in the class diagram as long as or as far as Jammu Kashmir is concerned? We know that in Jammu Kashmir, capital is not same. It is going to change once in 6 months. For some time, it is Jammu. For some time, it is going to be Kashmir. In that perspective, how do you represent a class model for that? So if any one of you can write that, that will be good to know. So I'll give it 2 minutes. Try and let me know. Meanwhile, let me complete the attendance. So if you have understood the multiplicity, you should write it properly. So that gives me clarity or confidence that you are clear with the idea. Number 1.
Yes, sir.
2,
Yes, sir.
3, 4,
Yes, sir.
6,
Yes, sir.
7, 8,
Yes, sir.
9,
Present, sir.
10,
Yes, sir.
11,
Yes, sir.
12,
Present, sir.
13,
Present, sir.
14, 15,
Yes, sir.
16,
Present, sir.
17,
Yes, sir.
18,
Present, sir.
19,
Present, sir.
20,
Present, sir.
21, 22,
So
23,
21 present, sir.
23,
Present, sir.
24,
Yes, sir.
25,
Present, sir.
26, 27,
Present, sir.
28,
Present, sir.
29,
Yes, sir.
30.
Yes, sir.
Yes, remaining I will take later. So may have some output. If anybody has done, I can stop my presentation. You can show. Let me know if you have done. May have some answers. I'm just asking for Jammu Kashmir, how do you write a class diagram which has more than one capital, nothing else? The diagram will be different with respect to multiplicity. So that is what the value of multiplicity. By looking at the diagram with the proper values of multiplicity, you can ensure how this diagram is written. What are the various values that objects are going to have. So that is a beauty of class diagram. Any of you tried? So you have to speak, otherwise it's waste of time. Remember, we have less time to complete good number of syllabus in OMD. If you delay like this, it will be delayed. Finally, you have to compromise on our learning. Don't do that. We want you to be bit active in online mode. We have told you long back. Just because online mode, you cannot be complacent or just be or me too type of interest. Not possible. You have to be even more confident and you have to be even more present from mind perspective. You have to learn. You can't ignore. That is the reason why we have to keep all these checks in mind, just to ensure that you are intact and your learning is not taken backseat. Do not respond. It is as good as anything else, and no motivation for the teachers. Don't do that. Allow us to teach properly. That comes only when you are interacting, when you are attentive. Yes, let me know some output. Okay, fine. If you don't want to show, I'm helpless. Let me go to the next concept. So consider this example and represent class model for this. Take a student who can enroll up to 5 courses, and student has to be enrolled in at least one course, and up to 300 students can be enrolling in a course, and each class should have 10 students. So this is the scenario. How do you write a class diagram? Take this as an assignment. You can submit by end of this week. A student can take up to 5 courses. Student has to be enrolled in at least one course. Up to 300 students can enroll in a course, and a class should have at least 10 students. So this is the assignment which you need to submit by end of this week after all your tests. Don't give reasons that we have tests and all, because we don't have time, and we see you are not participating either. So it is up to you. How do you do that? So repeat the question again. A student can take up to 5 courses. A student has to be enrolled in at least one course. Up to 300 students can enroll in a course, and a class should have at least 10 students. Probably you can expect these questions as your test questions for T3, because they are all the case study or innovative type of questions. Okay. So with this, let me show some of the examples which we have taken already. So employee works for a company. We have taken in detail. That is an example for a many to one type of relationship. Next, we have many to many. This is what we can do. A student enrolls for multiple courses. Multiple courses are enrolled by multiple students. We can take that type as a many to many as well. Okay. Next, one to one. As you have taken capital, a capital will have one. Sorry, a country will have one capital, and one capital will have one country. So that is what we can take it as a one to one. Next, we have these type of multiple names we have seen earlier as well, where if you want, we can represent the range of multiplicity. Need not be always 0, 1, star. You can represent in the range as well. So what is important here is we have seen an association name. If you look at the previous example, employee works for a company, right? So works for is what? Is the name of the association. Please be familiar with these names, because we keep using the different nomenclature for different things. If you're not attentive, probably you'll have a lot of confusion. That's what I could test you in the morning. You are not attentive in the previous class and you are giving some wrong answers. Don't do that, because we cannot do the repetition every time, right? So employee works for a company. So works for is a association name. So each association comes with a name. So from employee perspective, working for a company is what we are representing. So if a company perspective, if you see, so from company perspective, we can say a company employs an employee, or a company pays salary for an employee. So that some relationship you can bring in, and that name what you're writing is a association name. Association name is nothing but the name with which the classes are related with each other from left to right. Okay. Similarly, multiplicity based on that will be related. So this is what we have to say. So what works for is a association name. Now what I'm going to talk here is now association end names. So there is association end. If you see student, there is a one association which is student instructor relationship. I have given one name called as the teachers. That is called as one name of the association end. There is another end by name learns from. So there is another name. So like that, we have certain roles being played from each class or each object in the given association, and we call some of them as a association end names. So student learns from instructor. Look at how I'm using the English. Student learns from instructor. Where is the learns from? Learns from is not written near the student, it is written near the instructor. So the role of a student is from instructor perspective, that is learning from an instructor. So from instructor perspective, what is the role of an instructor? Instructor teaches the student. Instructor teaches the student. So that's how the role names are given. So we have seen association name. We have seen roles name. Here roles. Now I will take one more concept called as a association end. These are all the various typical things what we have seen earlier. Now what I'm talking about is an association end. What is an association end? Each association is given some name. That name is nothing but association end names. What are those association end names? For example, if I take a person working for a company. In the previous example, what I have taken? Employee, we have taken to a company. So thereby, 1 second, be online. Association ends. Association person has a employee. So for a person, I'm telling what type of person. I'm just giving a qualifier for this, right? By providing association end, I'm giving the qualification. You might have seen in object-oriented programming some of the qualifiers. So maybe you might have used qualifiers like as a constant qualifier or maybe volatile qualifier. They are going to give some more information for the given attribute or a given data type. In the similar perspective, I'm providing one is association. What is association? Person works for a company. That is association in general. But if you want to give end names, each association has an end name. What do you mean by end name? Each association can come with a specific what you call name or a proper demarcation so that you can understand easily. So person is very, very general. A person can be an employee, person can be a normal human, person can be a person who is no more existing in the world, a person can be newborn, a person can be anything. So person is very, very generic in nature. If that is the scenario, you want to give some more qualification to the person who will be fitting into this particular class diagram. Probably you can bring end names for a association. Remember, association end names are optional. If you want to give more meaning, you can add. But definitely, association end names will be helpful when there is a self-reference, meaning that some of the classes will refer to itself. We call them as a self-referential classes, like your structure. If you take a node of a linked list, what is a node? A node represents itself. You might have created a struct. When that struct is created, you could have created pointer pointing to itself. We call them as a self-referential structure. So that is how a node in a linked list is represented in C or C++, right? In the similar fashion, we can have a class representing itself. We call it as a class of a self-referential nature. If that is the case, probably these association end names are going to be more meaningful. But nevertheless, at this point of time, what you have to see, every name that we write in a class diagram is having a different meaning and a different nomenclature and different explanation. Just because we write similar names for different diagrams, it doesn't mean that their meaning is going to be same. No. If you write at one particular corner, the meaning is different. If you write in italics, I don't know how many have observed that association names are always written in the italics. If you observe here, works for is nothing but association name. Where are we writing that? We always write in the middle of that line. And how do you write? We always write with a italics. So when you write an italics between the two classes for an association, that is nothing but an association name, which is mandatory. Whereas association end names, that what are written today here, employee or employer, are not mandatory, they're optional. If you write, it is more good, you will get more input of the particular class, or otherwise no, not required. But you can write whenever you want for these type of classes. But definitely these are going to be a bit meaningful when you're dealing with a self-referential type of classes. An example for self-referential classes. Let us say a human, a person. A person is identified as a boy. Let us say, let me take this particular gender here, and he may be parent tomorrow. He or she is going to be child for a particular parent. So same person is viewed here as child for some other class, and the same person is viewed as a what you call parent for some other class. So there is a self-referential nature for this particular person, meaning that, let me write on this, let me switch to another tab so that you can visualize. Hope the screen is visible now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm taking now a class which is a person class, and this person class will have another class by name or another relationship where I call it as a parent relationship. Here it is a child relationship with some other class, right? So when I say the same person is represented as a parent with respect to some other class, and the same person is referenced as a child for some other class, probably we have to write this as a self-referential type of a class model. So how do you give the cardinality for us? So a person, let us say, how do you understand this now? A person is identified as a child, or a person can be identified as a parent. Assume we have a 2-child policy. A person can be a parent for no child, 1 child, or 2 children, right? Similarly, he or she can be child of another class which is called as a parent class, where you are a child. You are a child for a mother, father, and that type of relationship you want to represent. Probably you can say star, or you can say again 1, 2. So it depends how you want to represent. So I'm just taking an example of which is a self-referential class model. So if that is the case, definitely the parent and child, which are nothing but the names of the association ends, they are going to be more meaningful. If I don't represent, if I don't write parent here and child here, this particular class is of no use. It is not going to give any meaning, right? Thereby, when you're dealing with classes of this nature, association and names are going to be more meaningful. Association and names are going to be more meaningful. Otherwise, association and names are optional in normal classes like this. For example, if I have a class here, this is an employee class, and this is an employer class, and employee works for employer. You need not write if you don't want, because it's very clear, employee works for employer. So here association and names may be written, may not be. It is up to you. If you write, it will be more clear. Otherwise, no challenge. But if you want to mention a clarity with respect to the type of relationship each class is engaged or involved, probably you can write. But in the case of the previous one, where a self-referential class structure is required or described, it is better to always use association and names. So that is the concept of a association and names. Okay. Yes. With this, let us move to the next topic. Any doubts at this point? Association ends. So you should know what is association, what is association name, and what is association end name. Okay. So, and role name. The previous one we have mentioned role names. There is roles. So role name as well as association end name look similar, but they're not same, right? You should have the clarity. So they're all optional, of course, but depends on how you write. And how do you identify? If you look at the class is a noun, right? If you look at the association name, works for is what? Is a verb, right? Similarly, the association end names, they are also nouns. So depending upon what you write, you can use your English parts of speech and identify whether they belong to become association end names, or they are fit for association names, or they fit for class names. That is also another way how we can identify. So you probably will gradually understand this as you start working on this, but this is information for you, meaning that what you should appreciate at this point in time is these diagrams are as clear as anything. there is no room for any ambiguity if you write proper diagrams. If you don't write proper diagrams, probably this is of no use because it is not going to give any meaning for the stakeholder. So you should be well versed with writing these diagrams. And once you write that, that is the end, and everybody will come to same page and they'll be able to understand a similar kind of information, right? Now, so let us go to the next concept. So what you have done so far is, what is a class? What are the various associated properties? Maybe methods, operations, links, associations, attributes, values, multiplicity, association names, association end names. These are the various jargon what you have seen with respect to the classes. Now we will take to the next level. The association can also be given multiple values, which are going to be qualifiers again. So one qualifier we have seen the role name, another qualifier we have seen end names of association, and some more thing what we see is a bag, sequence, and ordering. It's very important from exam perspective. Ordering, bag, and sequence. Let me take a screen and window example. What is a screen? Right now, what you are viewing from this class is a screen. How many windows I have? If I show, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 windows I have, right? You can see 5 windows. What I'm seeing ultimately at the end of the day, it's only one particular window I'm going to. So a screen will have multiple windows. A screen will have multiple windows, whereas a window is related to one particular screen. So that is what represented here. So screen is visible on multiple windows, or a window is seen on a particular screen. So from that perspective, we have a multiplicity. The star is for a screen perspective. The window is for a visible perspective. If that is the case, I have one screen having multiple windows, whereas one window is fitting for one particular screen. But the question here is, I've written something on a square on a flower brackets. What is that? So far we have not seen. That is nothing but ordered, meaning that the windows that are coming in system are not jumbled. They are in order. Whichever window I open first, that will be the first window. Whichever I open later substantially or subsequently, that is going to be the next and subsequent window, right? If that is the case, the windows which I am going to open on my screen, they are going to be in order. They are order, one after the other they have to come, and they have been written such that, or they have been shown in this fashion. If you want, you can choose whatever you want, but when it comes to the visibility, because visibility is our association here, they have been ordered. So what is ordered? Ordered is nothing but a set of objects that are having a property of ordering. Ordering means like your descending order or ascending order, any type of order. That means some method has been followed, some inherent property has been added for these type of classes or objects, so that they come one after the other. When I say ordered will not have any duplications, right? If I set some data in an ascending order, descending order, you normally do not see any duplication. So only unique values you will be seeing. So from that perspective, ordered, if you want to define, ordered is an explicit order without any duplicates. So ordered is a list of activities that are performed for a particular object or a particular set of objects of a class in a explicit manner or explicit order rather, but without any duplicates. For example, let me take a traveling salesman problem. I don't know how many have understood that in the algorithms if you had that. So traveling salesman problem is nothing but I start from a particular city. I will traverse all the cities, but I will come back to the city where I started my journey. But what is the constraint? I will be going to all the cities only once. There is no question of repeating them, right? If I do that, probably I will be able to touch all the cities in a shortest distance and come back to my original destination. If that is the case, I can say traveling salesman problem is a concept of an ordered traversal. Why it is ordered traversal? You are not going to repeat the same city again, and you go in a fashion and come back to the original. If that is the case, probably I can say it is ordered. So ordered is again another qualifier that I'm going to associate for a given particular class, which is part of your association end. Any doubts on at this point of time? What is ordered? If you understand ordered, then bag and sequence is easy to understand. So that's why if you have any doubts, let me know. What do you mean by an ordered? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Fine. So if you look at the diagram here, screen is visible. Screen has multiple windows, right? And each window is seen on a particular screen. So here, if you observe again, ordered is written on what type of object or what type of class rather. It is written to a class where multiplicity is more, many, not at the one screen. Because when you have only one, you need not talk about ordered, right? Because there is no duplication. So be careful. You can't simply write ordered just because you know what is ordered. Ordered is relevant only when there is more than one activity or more than one multiplicity is there. That is maybe star or 2, 3, 4. If there is only 0 or 1, obviously this ordering has no meaning because there is no duplication at all. And when it is one, order itself is unique, uniform. There is no question of having a multiple orders, right? So ordering is required when multiplicity is more or many, that is more than 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So that also is one indicator for you when to use order. So if you are clear with ordering or ordered, then let us go to the bag and sequence. So bag and sequence are two important concepts. Let us come back to the bag of yours, normally what you carry. You go to a market, parents will give a bag asking you to purchase some 2-3 items. So you go to vegetable market, let us say, you purchase 1 kg of tomato and you keep that inside, and you'll also purchase 1 kg of some other item and you put together. So when you purchase 1 kg of tomato, are you getting only one tomato? No, because so far I have not seen the tomato which is weighing a kg. So at least you'll get 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, depending upon the size. That means there is more than one, right? So when a similar item more than one occurs, so duplicates are there, right? So same item is occurring more than one. So a bag is nothing but a collection of items where duplicates are allowed, similar to our bag. So here also, when we have a representation for an association end where duplicates are possible, probably we can give that as a bag. So ordered is nothing but no duplicates, but in a method, in a explicit order you follow. Whereas a bag is completely opposite, where you need not follow any pattern. You need not purchase tomato first, then onion, or then something. You can purchase in any order, right? So order is not required here. And also duplicates are allowed. So it is completely an opposite kind of an ordering. That is a bag. So bag is a collection of items or collection of data or collection of objects or whatever you refer here, where duplicates are allowed. Then what is a sequence? Sequence is a mixture of these two. One is a bag, other one is a ordered. So a sequence is a ordered collection of elements where duplicates are allowed. So it is a combination of both bag as well as your ordered. So bag means duplicates are allowed. Sequence means, ordered means there is one order. For example, best way is you take an aircraft. Assume aircraft flies from Bangalore to Kolkata. Assume in between there are two airports rather, where it has to halt. So there is an itinerary, right? The itinerary for the aircraft from Bangalore, Air India, when it flies, it goes to say Delhi, from Delhi to Assam, and say Assam to Kolkata. If that is the case, Delhi, Assam, Kolkata is a designated path. Is it ordered or not? From Bangalore to Delhi, you have to go. From Delhi to Assam, you have to go. From Assam to Kolkata, you are going. It is ordered, right? Explicit order. So you are not coming back here. Okay. But what happens when you go to Kolkata or about to go to Kolkata? You are in Assam. On the way you go to Kolkata, you find some issue, maybe weather problem or Kolkata airport is damaged. Something happens. What will happen? You are not going to Kolkata. Probably you go to some other city, or you may come back to Delhi, or you may be going halfway to Kolkata and come back to Assam. What is happening there? Duplications are. That means you are supposed to go in a particular explicit order, but due to some challenge, you are about to come back. There are possibilities that you are coming back. So your itinerary, where you travel on a holiday or what you plan, there are chances that, no doubt, even though you have plans of going in an explicit order, which is like ordered set of elements, there are possibilities that you may have to traverse back with duplicates. If that is the case, we call them as a sequence. So sequence is nothing but is a combination of both bag as well as a ordered. It is meant for ordered, but duplicates are also allowed. If that is a requirement, probably you can have a sequence. So these are the three different things. One is ordered, where explicit order, no duplicates. A bag, order need not be same. Order can be anything, and duplicates are also allowed. Next is a combination of these two, bag and order, which is nothing but a sequence, where you have to follow certain path, but you should also be open to duplicates as well. If that is the case, we call them as a sequence. So ordering, bag, and sequence is what we have. So best example is the itinerary airport. Each itinerary will have multiple airports being reached, and each airport will have multiple itineraries to reach itself. So thereby it is a multiple, many. So we have written, you can write sequence in either case. Itinerary is also sequence, and reaching airport is also sequence. So both the places it is sequence. An aircraft or airport will have from multiple itineraries, and itinerary will have multiple ways to reach a particular airport. So both the ends are possible here to have a sequence, because we know that sequence is applicable, or bag is applicable, or ordering is applicable only for those multiplicity which are many in nature, not one, right? If that is the case, here we can use in either case. So this is how we are going to identify. So as far as the ordering, bag, and sequence are concepts. Any doubts until this? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Fine. So next is a association class. So each association we have seen has name. We also seen each association has a role. We also seen each association has an end name. We have seen that associations can have some qualifiers like ordering, role name, bag, sequence. Now what we see is association class. So look, we have a class, two classes rather, and these two classes are linked or related by through some association. Like we have said, an employee works for an employer. Very simple. Assume that works for itself, please remember, that works for itself is as capable of becoming a class. So works for is not a simple works for, it has so much of data which can be considered as a class, meaning that it has so much of information which cannot be ignored. So that means associations, they are not just relations or links between two classes, right? They are going to give much more power for the relationship that is being established between two classes or more than two classes. So far, what you have seen is a simple association. Now, what we're looking at is an association which itself can become a class, or which itself contains information such that it can become as big as any class. So if that is the case, probably we need to promote, please understand the word, we need to promote an association to become an association class. So what is association class now? A normal association is going to be promoted to become association class simply because it has more content which describes the relationship between the existing two classes. If that is the case, probably we cannot satisfy the requirements in a simple one sentence or one phrase of association name. We have to convert or promote that association into an association class. So what is association class? It is a class itself. What is a class? Class has a name, class has attributes, class has a methods, right? Similar fashion, association class will have all this, but only difference is that this is not a class where you can generate the objects. We cannot instantiate objects from association class, right? It is not a class such that it is a class of association name. Thereby, you can see the difference here. Look at the way how this connection is happening. Can any of you observe and let me know what is happening? What is that I am marking here? Can you see this? Can any of you observe? Can you tell me what is this?
Dashed line, sir.
Dash line, meaning that if it is a normal class like this, I could have attached this using a straight line, a solid line. But now this is also a class, no doubt, but not a class like file or a class like user, but it is a class promoted from different angle. Thereby, I am going to use dashed line. So dashed lines will tell that, look, this is not a class, but this is something else. But what is the something else? It is related to the center of the association. What do we normally write for the middle of the association? We write the association name, right? So instead of writing association name, I have written something called as a association class. Suppose if you write this as a standard line like this, there are chances that anybody can confuse that this itself is a class. So that means how many classes are there? One class, second class, and third class. So there are three classes associated. But strictly speaking, there are no three classes, but there are only two classes. Why? Because these two classes are related with another class by name association class. Thereby, there is a line like this. If you make it standard solid line, it becomes an association. When you write like this, it becomes a association class. So please be careful about these things. So this is the distinction with which association class. So what is the difference between association class now? Association is a simple relationship, whereas association class is a more detailed relationship, or the classes are combined such that there is something beyond a normal relationship what we have. If that is the case, we need to describe that, we need to promote the existing association to become an association class. That's how we are going to use, and this is what we are going to represent. So association class is nothing but another class, but not from the class diagram perspective, but from a association perspective. So this is what we have to understand. So any doubts here? Concept? We'll take example, but classes, the concept of association class. Any doubts? Okay, fine. So now we have a file. File is a class. There is a user who is using the file. So we know that a file can be used by multiple users, and each user can use multiple files. That's what the multiplicity is denoting us. Okay. Now, that is not our interest, because we know that our interest is here, the association class. Normally, the names of associations are noun: user, file, employee, employer, capital, city, polygon, point. They're all the various nouns. But look at the name that is given by, or given for rather, association class. Association class is not a noun. So this is another way you can identify. So accessible by, it is not definitely a noun here, maybe adjective to some extent. So we can consider these type of names for the association class. So a file is accessible by, or a user can access a file through some permissions, read permission, write permission, all those you want to give, which you cannot give in the simply a file is accessed by user. You want to give more constraint, which you are not in a position to represent them in a normal association. Thereby, you are going to promote. So what you have to remember here is, every association does not require association class, right? If that association has multiple constraints that bind the two classes, definitely we need to promote that particular association as a association class. Let me take another example. Take our same employee and employee. Let me shift the screen. Hope you are able to see. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Let me take class, employee, employer. So far, what you have written? You have written works for. I will write that at that also. Now, I'm not happy. I feel that works for is very, very simple, and I want to promote this employee relationship into next level, so that when you develop a system, you'll have more information. What is that information? I want to promote the works for into a bigger class. So works for, I am going to write here. So what I should write? I should write a dotted line. Hope you are able to see. This is not a straight line. This is a dotted line. So what is the meaning for you now? This is not a class. This is a association class. So why I am writing like this? Because an employee and employer is related. How? Employee should work for 8 hours per day. Constraint. If you don't work for 8 hours, minimum, I'm not going to pay. And having worked for 8 hours, employer will pay salary. And there is a document called non-disclosure agreement where employee has to have with the employer, and there is a service bond where an employee should provide to the employer. So I want to give more information like this. Then definitely I cannot satisfy that in a simple works for, right? I need to promote this into a class called as a association class. That's what the concept of association class will have more detailed information, so that when you develop a product, you will have a more data with you. Thereby, you'll be able to do the programming which is required by the client. So that's the concept of a association class. And probably we shall conclude today's class with this last item, which is a qualified association. I have been talking about qualification. We ordered, bag, sequence. They're all set of qualifiers that we have, and we can represent qualifiers in different form. So what we are represented there as a association qualifiers. Now we are talking about a qualifier with respect to a class itself. If you take a bank, this is a notation for a qualified association. If you want to represent a qualified association for a bank, I'm going to give more specific details here, which is like a primary key for a table. If you want, you can assume from that perspective. So bank has account number. So that is going to more differentiable than simply telling a bank. So if that is the case, this part is going to be called as a qualified association. If you are representing a qualified association, you will be representing like this. Then what are the qualifiers we spoke about so far? We spoke about so far maybe a ordered, bag, sequence. They have just given the concept of understanding you why we have used. They are type of qualifiers, but not a qualified association, so that you can provide some meaning to the association with which they have been associated rather, or the relationship with which they are associated rather. But what we are talking right now is a specific qualification, a specific association that we want to term it as a qualified association, which is represented like this. You have a class and you write this small rectangle box. So for this class, if you write this particular object, this is going to be termed as a qualified association. Same thing I have taken here as well, which is not qualified. So this is called as a simple class diagram, whereas this is called as a class diagram with a qualified association. So again, you need not use every time. Whenever there is a need to provide a specific information which will give more meaning for you, like a primary key of a table, let us say, probably we can use them. That is the concept of a qualified association. So with this, probably we can conclude the today's class, and we'll take some more inputs on class modeling from the next class. Okay. So if you have any doubts, please let me know. Else I will continue with the attendance. May I have quickly attendance of remaining students. 31,
Sir.
32,
Present, sir.
33, 34, 35,
Yes, sir.
36,
Present, sir.
37,
The 34 present.
Yes, sir.
38,
Present, sir.
47 present, sir.
39,
Present, sir.
40,
Yes, sir.
41, 42,
Present, sir.
43,
Present, sir.
44,
Present, sir.
45,
Present, sir.
46,
Present, sir.
47,
Present, sir.
48,
Sutta.
49,
Yes, sir.
50,
Present, sir.
51,
Present, sir.
52,
Present, sir.
53,
Present, sir.
54,
Present, sir.
55,
Present, sir.
56,
Present, sir.
57,
Present, sir.
58,
Present, sir.
59.
Sir, 33 present, sir.
1 second.
34